Alright guys, this is Richard. Welcome back to Crack and Flip. Today I'm finally doing that wrap up of our Devastation. The Pro Tournament has happened. It's been a week and it's time to go over some of the prices and some of the things that we learned from this whole experience with our Devastation. As a flipper, you really have to always be looking at trends and what prices do for certain types of cards, what certain situations do for certain types of cards. That all helps you become a better flipper and really maximize your money input. So first off, let's go over kind of like the basic stuff, which is what spiked because of the tournament. And if you watched Pro Tour, Mono Red just swept it. I think it was 5 decks or 6 out of the top 8 were Mono Red, and so because of that, Ruins is a great card that's going to be seeing a lot of play, maybe still. But yeah, definitely number one bestseller. People are grabbing that. Hope you guys sold yours at one if that's what you're doing, at $1. If that's what you guys are doing, but still 70 cents per card. That's a really good play set, and that's kind of what you're looking at is a play set for that. Because of that as well, a braid. A braid really shut down those God Pharaoh decks, those White Monument decks because red was so prevalent. Every red deck was playing a braid, and it was really messing things up. It did hit that $3 mark, which I was hoping it would, and it did. And this should stay pretty steady. I think this will be a 250 card for a little bit to come. Maybe after the next set comes out, then you'll see it maybe go lower. But for the most part, everything is so heavy artifact right now, especially with Kaladesh and Ether Revolt. Both are heavy artifact sets, so this will definitely play a part in that. Earthshaker, this is an interesting card. It did something. It spiked when it first spiked. It hit $7. It quickly went down. That's when the hype happened. That's when the first Star City Games tournament was won with Mono Red. Got down to about $5 during the Pro Tour, but never spiked after that, which is weird. Like seeing how it was so prevalent in the Pro Tour, I thought at least go back to $7, but it never did. It stayed at 5, and that maybe shows that maybe everyone was already thinking this deck was gonna go. Also, there might be some kind of off-putting about a red deck because a lot of people think that red decks are for beginners, and so maybe people think of it as a cheater. So no one wants to actually buy the card. So the card never really spiked as much as it should have. Let's move on to the top selling cards. Nicol Bolus, slowly coming down. I think it's going to rest at 18 just because it is an extremely powerful card, but same thing I said before, only control decks are playing them, only control decks are playing like one. It's not it's a crazy card. I saw one of the pros play it. He was down to 3 life. His opponent had 20, and his opponent conceded after he played this card. This is how strong and how crazy this card can be. But with Marvel being banned, and I feel like them not wanting to create another card like that allows big cards to be cheated. I think that card. Nicol Bolas is going to be just too expensive and too hard to cast for the future. Scarab God, still holding. A slight drop on it, still holding. No Pro Tour camera time. I didn't think there would be any. I think this is more of a Commander and Modern thing, but yeah, I think as things go on, as you lose most of your zombie base because of the rotation, I think if zombies are still a thing, you're gonna see the Scarab God pop in just because you need more firepower in your deck. The Locust God, I'm not sure if you guys saw Locust God on Pro Tour. Man, that was awesome to see this thing swarm the field. It was a really cool effect and really cool to see besides a Torrential Gear Hulk to see another card in control, and it was really fun to watch. Still $9. Like I said, this card could spike because the Commander could be a really cool and really expensive card. It's up to you if you want to keep this card in your deck still. Crested Sunmare, I think it's a $7 card. Other people don't, but I think it's an even better card than that. So hopefully this sees play somewhere. With the rotation happening, who knows what's going to happen? You're losing a lot of your base for some of these decks. So all the Eldrazi are going to be gone. The zombies are going to be gone from those two sets. So yeah, investigating is going to be gone. That's a mechanic that a lot of people wanted. Getting the clues and stuff. That was really a big thing. So now that's gone. We'll see what control decks do. Other stuff reacted the way I thought. Prices were actually way more steady than I thought they would be for this set. Usually prices crash pretty hard after the Pro Tour, but no, everything pretty much held its own, even now, which I think is pretty telling of the set. And I wonder why that is. And I think one of the things that Alpha Investments even said that people were telling him was that this set had that stigma of not being popular, so not that many people were buying this in the first place. So maybe because there wasn't enough cards out there, prices held. Not everyone and their mom was opening up a pack, driving prices down. So maybe that's why it was holding steady. But a very interesting set indeed, where prices didn't drop as much as I thought they would. Here's the Excavator. Like I said, modern card. It's holding. It's really holding. I don't think it placed in Star City Games this weekend in a deck, but it's there and it has a place in it, I think. So that's going to be cool. Chappy De Witt's didn't spike. It's holding where it's at. I sold mine already at $5.50 or something like that. Kind of like what this price is right there. This card kind of shows you that maybe you should ride that hype train. Like when you see it spike up to $7, a lot of people are like, "No, hold. Let's see how far it goes." But really, that $7 mark was probably as best it's going to get for a rare in a set like this, and for that. I think this card will have some room to grow and should jump up in price, but as of right now, I'm really going to consider selling cards right at the peak of the hype train, because this card, as along with Earthshaker, yeah, that's $2 for each card I missed out on, and I had like 7 of each or something like that. So that comes out to quite a bit of change. So Lemony, this is not the price it should be at. This is not the price at all. I think I sold one at $5. I have 2 more. I'm saving them. This is not the price it should be at. Modern moves so slow, and this card could be something pretty good later on. So that's pretty much all the cards I want to hit on for this wrap up. Basically, like I said, the things you want to learn about is that hype train. That's the number one thing. Claim to Fame was another card that peaked at $2 and then went down to $1, and now it's below $1, I think. Maybe from now on, when the hype train comes and things peak, maybe I should jump on board and sell at that peak, especially because didn't see any spikes, even though they were played in the Pro Tour. So keep that in mind moving forward with the next set, that maybe that hype train of a rare, especially a rare like this, going to $7 is probably where it's going to level off at. So with all that said and done, let me touch on another card here. Awesome card, I think. I think you should go out and buy this card if it hits close to $1 or under $1. And I don't mean like pick up like 20. I mean, if you're gonna go buy a card, buy one. If you're gonna buy something else, then buy 2. Just pick up a few. I'm not saying invest a bunch. Just pick up a few. Just because for 5 mana, you can do 3 3-drops with this card. In Modern, that has to do something. That has to make a great combo that exists already. People just haven't found it yet, or will exist. To drop 3 cards for 5 mana when it should be 9 I think is going to be an awesome combo. The things against that is how many different 3-drops do you have in your deck? And I know that's a huge drawback, and not many do run that many different 3-drops, but still, I think this card can really pull something together. Look at it, Commander. Maybe this card is really going to throw down quite a few cards for you in Commander if you do it for 4. Throw out 4 4-drops. Yeah, you're really doing some work if you do that. Or 5 5-drops, you're doing some work. So I think if this card goes down to $1, then buy a couple here and there. Maybe somewhere way down the line this thing will spike, or maybe sooner or later. But I really think that Uncage is something worth looking at for sure. Moving on, the Kaladesh block. I think there should be more hype on the Kaladesh block just because Chandra, Torch of Defiance, and the Gearhulks. Not just Torrential, but every Gearhulk in the set. And the fact that this is kind of now the the first set with the rotation going on, and it has the rare dual lands. I think this has become the set now, and I think you're going to see a lot of stuff being pulled from this set, despite being one of the oldest sets in the rotation now. I really want to see Gearhulks being played. I've seen some deck tech a lot with Cataclysmic Gearhulk and the Red Gearhulk. I have several of those. I have several foils of those, so I really hope someone plays this in the next tournament when the next set comes out. So a lot of hope for Kaladesh. I think people should be looking at it. Like I said, this is now the first set in Standard. And with the rotation, I want to highlight two cards really quick. Liliana, the Last Hope, and of course, Collective Brutality. Especially Collective Brutality. This card is going to stay this price. This card's only going to go up in value, especially when the set leaves rotation. When you think about that, basically that's even more people that are not going to open up this set. This set wasn't very popular to begin with. Not a lot of the good things in there. It didn't have the Masterpiece series. And so this was probably the least opened up by far of all the sets. That means there's not that many of these cards floating around. There's not that many people willing to open it up, especially when Standard happens and some of these prices plummet. You're really going to have cards like this. You're going to have cards like Liliana, the Last Hope, are really going to spike, I think, as the months roll down, as the years roll down. So it might be a good idea to pick up a copy or two of one of these cards. Don't go crazy, my word. It's just a good idea to have at least one or two of these cards in your stockpile for a rainy day, because unpopular set plus time plus just an overall well-played card means that price is going to go up. So with all that said, guys, that is my wrap. I'm going to do a little bit more when rotation finally actually does happen and the previews card coming out for the next set. Until then, guys, this has been The Flip, and you guys have a good one.